Testing, testing. Hey, good morning, everyone, or good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're coming from. Just testing if everyone is able to hear me clearly. Marondera, nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in nice and early. All right, we got Yamil from London. Hey, Imad, nice to see you. Nice to see you here. All right, thanks for tuning in. All right, okay, so you got people from London. Imad, you're from London too, right? If I remember correctly. I know the timing there should be the evening for you now, right? Hey, Chrissy, nice to see you. All right, Bucharest, that's nice. All right, Ahmad, nice to see you. So we got Professor Ashraf from Pakistan. We got Hamburg. Great, Joel, nice to see you. Okay, yes, that's right, Imad. All right. Completing a PhD, right? Was it PhD? Yeah, I think it was. If I remember correctly. All right, 9 p.m. start in London. All right, good stuff. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in nice and early today. All right. Today's session is our usual pre-market life analysis. All right, we're gonna go through what we looked at previously. Right, I think a lot of the calls that we made, especially the strength on DXY, did work out quite nicely. All right, so it makes it easier for me to review last week's analysis. Right, so we've had a good hit rate, every single, pretty much every single week so far, as in at least the forecast accuracy. So that is the high standards we hold ourselves to. In this pre-market life analysis, knowledge management, all right. Good stuff. Okay, all right. Hey, David, nice to see you tuned in too. All right, and all right, so you're moving out of London soon. That's a waste because I am visiting, right? I am visiting London in September, all right, middle of September. I'll be passing. I'll be flying to London and going. I think my taking my kid there. Right, my wife will be having some stuff planned for us, right? Along with the kid, right? While I try to somehow sneak in a Manchester United match somewhere. I've been trying to catch a live match at Old Trafford, right? For the longest time. The last time I went there, it was like Manchester United versus Liverpool weekend, right? And there was no way to get any seats, right? So this time I hope to, but the problem is that they haven't released the schedules for next year yet. So, I mean for the next season yet. So I'm just gonna try my luck. I'll be around the area if you guys, any of you guys want to, if possible, grab coffee or lunch there. All right. Yeah, and from now until then, you're gonna hear a lot more of me, right? Probably another 3 or 4 more months of me doing live pre-market live analysis, amongst others, right? So yeah, it'd be nice to see you guys there. Let's begin today's session. All right, let's begin today's session. Remember, disclaimer: everything this webinar is educational in nature, so nothing should be construed as investment or trading advice. Please do your own due diligence before you guys trade. All right, now let's begin rock and roll. All right, we're gonna take a quick look at the pre-market analysis that we do over here. We're gonna take a quick look at some of the key news events next week. All right, after that we're gonna look at some of the analysis of the majors. All right, so these are the major FX, major commodities, major indices. Right, hey Nick, nice to see you. I'm glad you didn't mistook the timing as 1 hour later. Nice to see you here. All right, and then after that we're gonna have custom requests. All right, so what I want to encourage you guys to do is that if you have requests for me, right, if you'd like me to look at any of the instruments, send them in early first so that I can look at them. All right, so there's a bit of a queuing system here. I'll do my best to look at those initial ones that are sent and work our way down. Okay. Now, for those of you guys who are here for the first time, I don't think there's anyone here for the first time, right? It'd be nice that if there is, right? But introducing your host for today, who's this guy here presenting. My name is Desmond Leong, right? So I'm an external analyst here at IC Markets. I run the award-winning research firm, Everest Fortune Group, and also the Forex Army. But finalists for 2019, 2020, and 2021 for Best FX Research and Best Equity Research. Right, so work with many of the major financial institutions in helping them forecast where the markets are heading. And we have a special partnership with IC Markets where I bring you guys the good stuff, the juicy stuff, stuff like the not only education, but also the pre-market live analysis to help you position yourself right for the rest of the week. All right, okay, I already see there's a request for DEX, right? There's a request for Dow, there's a request for the NASDAQ. Ice Milo. Oh, tuning in from Singapore. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. All right. Must be. I take my hats off to your dedication to waking up at 4 a.m. Right. I know. I woke up. I prepared everything. Then I woke up about 20 minutes ago. So yeah, I take my hats off to anyone in Asia now because it's about 4 a.m. there. I think London has the best timing, right? Europe and London has the best timing, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. It's perfect, Sunday night after dinner, right? Everyone's winding down, it's a perfect time to just look at the charts, right? Okay, good stuff. Okay, now anyway, so what can we expect for this week? Oh, from UAE. Nice to see you, Paul. Yamilu, I was wondering where you were. Nice to see you tune in. All right, nice to see you tune in. So what I always say, all right, Mando, yes, you did ask me the exact same question last week. Do you still remember me? I said yes, right? But okay, let's begin today's session, right? Let's begin today's session. Let me just come over here. All right, so the first and foremost, right, at least from a fundamental perspective, some of the key things that we look out for this week. All right, I mean, for Monday, I expect it to be a relatively hold on, decisions. All right, okay, Paul, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, it's the first time here. All right, welcome to the show. Welcome. It's nice to see you here, Paul. Right. Yeah, I think you enjoyed today's session. Don't hesitate to ask us, send me requests on any instruments you want me to look at. Right. And of course, if you have questions throughout the webinar, let me know. I do want to point you guys in the correct direction of because we got someone new here, right? IC Markets YouTube channel, right? The places. Let me. This one over here. This is the first share. Yeah. Of course, Mando. I do have experience. Everyone does have experience revenge trading. All right. Hi from Fiji. All right. Hey, nice to see you, Ali. Right. So yeah. This is the first place I want you guys to go to. My colleague Keaton, he just did a fundamental masterclass. He just did a fundamental masterclass last week. This week he'll be doing, if I'm not wrong, it'll be another fundamental masterclass or another topic. So please go check it out. Right, really, really good approach to understanding fundamental analysis. If you can go catch it out. All right. The other important places to look out for is okay, at least the Fibonacci series 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the important ones that you need to read through. All right, very, very good, a very, very effective way that I use to forecast where the markets are heading, right? Especially reversals and breakouts. All right, so you definitely want to look out for this Fibonacci series. And the last one, support. Yes, the support and resistance, right? Pullbacks and overlaps. This is definitely something you need to watch, right? it will help you a lot in your trading. Let me see if I miss it. Yes, swing highs, swing lows, overlaps, and the pullbacks, right? So please go check it out. I think I need to move this. Let me just reshuffle this. Oops. Reshuffle this down to here. Okay, right. So the in-depth support and resistance 1, 2, 3. Please go check it out. All right, guys. Let's go check it out. Now when you come back here, pre-market analysis with Desmond, right? Please check this out. So it's in today's session, but of course, the session that we're going to refer to for most of the week will be over here, right? No, for most of today will be over here because it's our analysis that we did last week. Joey, nice to see you. Mando, I will answer those questions. Okay, in the context of education, right? So for example, Mando is asking what lot sizes do you use in trading? So I want to let you guys know that lot sizes is something which is very, very dependent, right? It's very dependent on your account size, and it's also very dependent on your risk allocation, and it is very dependent on the instruments you trade. So me giving you an answer on what lot sizes I use is not going to help you at all, right? It's not going to help you at all. I would need to give you an answer for something like, okay, for gold, if I was risking, you know, if my entry, okay, for example, for euro dollar, you know, the asset class is forex, right? If my entry was at this level and my stop loss is 50 pips away and my risk allocation is 2%, then I reverse calculate my lot size, and that is the lot size I'm risking. All right. So I already see, okay, request on euro yen, request euro dollar. Amma is asking what's the risk that is the good one to use of the whole capital. All right. So I wonder if we have this thing here, right? So let's search for random coin toss heads and tail generator, coin flipper. So let's flip a coin. Okay, so let's just say this is heads and the other one is tails, all right? Over here. So this, we just got a heads, all right? So we got a heads over here. I'm going to show you guys what I mean, right? We got heads, if you can count with me, right? I flip again. We got heads again. Tails. So we got 2 heads, 1 tail. 3 heads, 1 tail. 3 heads, 2 tail. 3 heads, 3 tail. 3 heads, 4 tail. 3 heads, 5 tail. 4 heads, 5 tail. 5 heads, 5 tail. Right? So it looks like this one, it has if I flip it another multiple times, now notice we're at 7 heads and 7 tail now. All right, so usually this is not exactly large number yet. So large numbers is probably towards like 100 times, right? You will notice that you'll get even amount of heads or tails. But if over, like for example, if we do it over a small number of flips, right? If I just wanted to do like 3 flips, like earlier I had 3 heads. So now we had like 7 heads and 7 tail, right? But previously, we had, I think it was 4 heads and 1 tail. All right, 4 heads and 1 tail. So there's a difference in terms of like the, over a small number of setups, right? The law of large numbers don't work itself out. Why this is important for explaining what Ahmad is asking is because when it comes to risking how much you choose to trade, you need to factor in the law of large numbers. That means you might, right? Henry, I'm glad you make money. Good stuff, man. Right, welcome back. So let me just close this off in case any of the Google ads pop up. Some come out of broker. Okay, yeah. So the important thing to note here is the law of large numbers. I'm gonna paste this. All right, law of large numbers. Go read up on it. All right. That means if I had an edge of the market, right? If I had like maybe a 60 or 70% edge of the market, if we jump in on a trade and we risk like 10% on each trade, right, we might have 5 losing trades in a row first, or 4 losing trades in a row, similar to the 4 heads that you get before you get the 1 tail, which works out in your favor. Because over the small number of trades, right, your your edge over in the market, does not have the chance to work itself out. If I flip heads and tails at least 1,000 times, more or less I'm going to get 500 heads and 500 tails. But if I'm going to flip it just 5 times, it's a lot. That probability of it being split through the middle is a lot less. All right, Nick. Thanks for tuning in. Right. Thanks for tuning in. All right, I'm actually going to Australia next week. Yeah, on the 22nd, exactly 1 week from now, I'll be flying over to Melbourne, right, with my wife and my kid. If anyone happens to be there, wants to grab me for a coffee, assuming I even have the time with my kid, yeah, I'll be in Melbourne 1 week from now. All right. So, okay, without deviating too much. All right, without deviating too much. Let's see it over here. Okay, so I have pasted, right? I have pasted the timestamps over here. So we're going to look at some setups, all right? So last week we forecasted, this is 7 May, so this is 7 days ago, or rather last week, right? We forecasted the bounce on DXY above 100.90. Okay, just give me a minute. Oh wait, sorry. The fundamental news events to watch out for first. All right. I will just go through this very quickly. Monday, take note. Right, you probably want to look out for this Empire State Manufacturing Index. Right. The consensus, heading to the event is that we're expecting lower than previous reading of 8.0 in May. Right. I think it's worth reading. No, worth looking out for. Claimant count change tomorrow, right? GBP, and of course Canadian CPI, and US core retail sales, right? These are the key news events for tomorrow, right? I'm being very wary of time at 20 minutes. We usually don't have enough time if I power through the technicals, right? So Wednesday, I won't be paying too much attention to wage price index. I mean, it's a big news event, right? It's a big news event, but not really gonna, to me, it's not gonna move the market that much. Probably want to keep a lookout for BOE Government Bailey speaking, right? Just to keep an eye out for anything that he says. Thursday, right? You got the employment change and unemployment rate. Definitely something you want to keep an eye on for Thursday. Okay. Same thing for US, right? Unemployment claims. Unemployment claims basically gives you indication if more people are claiming unemployment benefits, right? Then you know that things were in trouble, right? That means there is it's a good sign that good leading sign that it's unemployment is rising. Okay, now after that, right, on Friday there isn't really much to look out for, right? May Fed Chair Powell speaks, always important, but there isn't really big news events, right? If you look at it this week, not as big as last week, where all the inflation results are coming out, right? But yeah, this week is a little bit dry. Okay, now I will be in Australia for 22 to 30. I'm flying back on 31st, so close to 8 or 9 days. Yes, Nick, it's holiday time finally, but they say, they say vacation is like parenting in another location, right? I like that. I like that quote, right? Vacation is parenting in another location. So just kind of taking care of your kid in another location, right? It's my second time visiting. I last visited Melbourne in November. My kid was about 6 months old then, right? But now it's slightly older, right? I think we have a video, right? Let me see if, oh, sorry, let me move this aside. We have a video. Let me see if I have it over here. A recent birthday celebration that you guys, let's see, is it this one here? Yeah, I think it's this one here. Yeah, recent video. Is this the one? Let me find. All right, I'll share with you guys Yeah, I'll share with you guys a video at a recent birthday celebration at the end of today's webinar for any of you guys who want to hang around. All right. Okay. Now let's begin. Let's rock and roll for today. Okay. A DXY. Where so just let me maximize this, and I see that I'm over here. Okay. An easy way to go back and forth. DXY. Okay, DXY, we forecasted a bounce. I'm going to make this slightly bigger. Last week, we forecasted a bounce above 100.90, right? Since then, we have seen, right, DXY bounce really nicely above 109.90, and it has reached our target of 102.61. Good setup. Anyone who was bullish USD, for the whole week that we were forecasting, you would have made some decent pips over here, right? And right, this is what I like about this kind of the sessions that we do, right? It is live, right? It is recorded, so I can't be running away. If my forecast was for it to drop last week and it bounced, right? I can't be running away if I get it wrong. So it's good that we got it right. Good setup that worked itself out very nicely. All right. Now, what can we expect? So before I even look at any instrument, it's important that we look at DXY, which is the dollar index. Right. Dollar index gives us a good gauge on what we can expect for the week. Right. For the dollar strength. Now that we've reached our target, let's see. Oops. What could happen? Oh man. It's a little bit tough. This level is okay, but it's not as great. I kind of like this level over here a bit more. But the problem is in finding a level that is close enough. I will fine-tune my analysis as I look through euro dollar, dollar franc, dollar yen, and pound dollar. But just let me keep in mind here first that DXY is on a little bit of a resistance, right? DXY is on a little bit of resistance over here. Yeah, 38%. Yeah, DXY is on a little bit of resistance. It hasn't crossed above the Ichimoku yet, right? So a little bit wary about this setup. I like this over here, but if it close above here, it will be I think the key triggering resistance would be over here, right? This would be the resistance I'm looking out for. It's a little bit hard to see, but you must look at this thing called overlaps, right? So there's a bounce over here, right? There's bounces over here. Nice little reaction, right? Reactions, bounces over there. Okay, so it's nice little bits of resistance over there. So I would highlight this as my key resistance level to look out for. All right, key resistance level to look out for. It needs to break past this level, right, which I believe is the 50% retracement, slightly below the 50% retracement. It needs to break past this level to trigger the move up to here, all right, to trigger the move up to here. So this is more like my upside confirmation. Okay, in terms of the support levels, right, I do think we could this would still be my major support. Maybe I have a little bit of an intermediate support over here where price looks like it's kind of crossing over. I don't quite like this yet, right? I'm just going to highlight these levels first, and I'm going to look at our good friend euro dollar. Okay, so because they're all correlated, so I must ensure that everything makes sense, right? Euro dollar, we forecasted last week that there'll be a reversal below, or there could be a reversal below 1.1033, right? So we can see price did reverse very nicely from 1.1033, is dropping very nicely. How did we forecast that reversal? It's because price was at a major resistance and there was bearish divergence pushing prices all the way down, right? So it's dropping nicely and it's dropping towards our first support, right? So if you got in on this forecast, right, it's a good amount of you have caught the euro dollar reversal right on the dot. Okay, now let me see euro dollar. I like this ascending support. I really like it. It's always a good indication that it's a good indication of momentum. Ichimoku cloud's right there. Ah, man. Between dollar index and euro dollar, right? Euro dollar is definitely the clearest setup, right? Really tricky. I mean, I usually use the trend lines as a gauge for me, as for momentum, right? So I don't use it for entry unless it lines up very nicely, right? But let me see. Okay, what I'm seeing is that there's a channel over here. So why this is a channel, right? You got one touch over here, you got two touches, you got three touches, you got four touches, you got five touches, you got six touches, right? And then it looks like we're testing that level over here. Okay, so it fulfills our requirement for a channel, which is two touch at the top and two touch at the bottom. Okay, so it's not only enough that it breaks past this level, it still needs to break past the Ichimoku, it still needs to break past this major first support. This major first support, I'm pretty sure, yep, it's at right at a 50% Fibonacci retracement. And if I'm not wrong, it's probably pretty close to a 61.8 Fibonacci projection, right? So we got a 61.8 Fibonacci projection this way, right? And we have 50% retracement from here to here, right? So I know you can't really see it, but you can see these are the two Fibonacci levels over here. So we're lining up quite nicely. Looks like price is coming down quite nicely to that level. I'm a little bit wary, but my bias, right? I wouldn't say my bias, right? My preference, right? My preference would probably be in the region of it making a bounce from here, right? Making a bounce from here towards that. You probably see a lot of fighting that is going to happen around here, right? It's going to come down, it's going to break, it's going to fight the Ichimoku, it's going to fight the first support, it's going to fight the 50%, the 61.8 retracement, it's going to fight a whole lot of things there. But what is likely, it seems like it's going to happen, especially with this major overlap support, which I really like, we could be seeing a bounce. If we see a bounce on euro dollar, it means that in terms of DXY, we might be seeing a reversal on DXY instead. All right, we might be seeing a reversal around the prices might inch up a bit, right? Prices might inch up a bit. So how I'm looking at it is that this little movement euro dollar has to come down to the first support might coincide with this little for DXY to make that little come up here, for price to come up a little bit before reversing down again to first support. Okay, so it's more likely going to be this for me. Yeah, probably over here, right? Yeah, probably over here. 50% retracement, right? Overlap resistance. Yeah, what could happen rather is, yeah, so initial DXY strength, but for the week, DXY weakness would be our guiding principle, or rather our guiding, our North Star, right? So that then helps us decide a lot of the other setups. Okay, so we had forecast on pound dollar, similar Similar for pound dollar, we're looking at a little bit of a reversal. Intermediate resistance, so it might reverse from 1.2634. If it does inch up any higher, it might reverse from 2766. How it worked out, right? We can see price reversed very nicely from our intermediate resistance over here, right? So we did highlight this 1.2634 level, and it's reversed down to our first support. Okay, very nice setup, you know. So right on the dot, right? This level here, 127%. How did I forecast this level? Weird level out of nowhere, right? It is because of the Nike tick. Remember, guys, last week I was already highlighting this Nike tick for you guys, right? Your starting point, your ending point, and your 127 Fibonacci extension comes up to here, right? So, oops. So I was not kidding, right? You can see there's a starting point here, your ending point over here, and your Nike tick Fibonacci extension comes up to here at 127%. We see a very nice reversal. Price drop back down to the 100%. It's like I'm a fortune teller. I'm kidding, right? I hope some of you guys managed to get into this, right? For those of you guys who are requesting pound dollar, right? Let's take a look at what we can, we might have for the rest of the week. So if you're expecting euro dollar to bounce, right? You're expecting DXY to weaken. What might happen for pound dollar is I do like that pound dollar is back on major support. Right, this is a major support level, right? Price has previously reacted off this level, you know, bounce. So, you know, a J Smith, I will take a look at that in a bit. Not necessarily true, right? Not necessarily true, right? Because I think dollar CAD has a much more correlation in DXY, not the strong correlation in DXY, but much more looking at WTI, all right? Oil. So yeah, we could see a bounce, right? Price is technically still above the bullish Ichimoku cloud. Looks like it might be approaching some kind of ascending support line over here, potential ascending support trend line. For this week, hopefully you could see a bounce right up to here. Major 23%, right? So yeah, 23% retracement is just testing that level right now. Could see a nice little bounce up. I think 23 and 50% would be my key ones. Yep. And if it breaks 23%, 50% would be the next level to look out for. Just to highlight the second support level over there. This second support level might line up. Sorry. This second support level might line up with a 61.8, about there. Not that very nice. More of a 78.6, I think. Yeah, 78.6. All lining up the second support there. Okay, so view for the week for pound dollar. Riding that dollar weakness, right? Hopefully a bounce that we can see to lead prices up to towards the first resistance level. Okay. For dollar franc, take a quick look at it. For those of you guys who yeah, so for dollar franc, we forecasted a bounce above 8930, or rather 8867 level, right? For it to go up. Very nice bounce actually. Is this the chart? Yeah, this is the chart. So price did bounce. Price did bounce very nicely on its way towards our target. So if you got in on the right side, I think Henry, you got in on the right side, right? Should be bagging a good amount of pips. How we managed to forecast it was that, you know, there's a nice little bit of bullish divergence on a major support level. Okay, bullish divergence on a major support level gives us confidence that there might be a little bit of a bounce from there. So making good money, I hope. making good money. Now, the view for dollar franc, a little bit trickier this week. Or rather, not so much trickier, right? It ideally might be going the same direction as dollar weakness, right? Might be going in the same direction as dollar weakness. We could be seeing a reversal from here to take prices all the way back down, to the first support, right? So I'll be looking for the reversal of this level. This level should coincide with a 38% retracement. 38% Fibonacci retracement, right about there, exactly at 38% Fibonacci retracement. We should be seeing a reversal from that level to take prices back down to our support. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, dollar yen. I think dollar yen didn't really move much, right? Dollar yen didn't really move much. I think we were forecasting for it to kind of rise. It has broken this key resistance. And now, to me, the level, this might be one of the setups for the week, right? I like the way the 4-hour chart really reacts off these levels very nicely, right? Very, very nicely, very, very nicely here. And it has finally broken this level with confidence, right? It broken this level, crossed above the Ichimoku, right? It could give us that little bit of push up towards the second now I need to pick another resistance level. This is a little bit far for the week for me to call for prices to come all the way up. Oh no, but it's on the 4-hour chart, so it might be possible. For the week, we could see price rise up towards there. Let me just erase this. Right, this would be our first support now, right? This would be our first support. This would be our second support. Okay, all right. We're on the 4-hour chart. Take note that we're on the 4-hour chart over here. Okay, so we could be seeing price rise quite nicely towards the first resistance over here. On the 1-day time frame, it looks like this, right? You can't see the structure of the setup as nicely, right? But if you go down to the 4-hour chart, you notice that it has broken this key overlap resistance, which is now a support, right? So we could actually see a nice little bit of a rally up towards this level on first resistance. Okay, now let's see. I think there wasn't much on the Aussie and Kiwi dollar front. Let me go through some of the requests that you guys had sent through earlier today. We've covered euro dollar. There was a request with ideas on pound franc and pound yen, right? Pound franc and pound yen. Pound yen, right? It's still testing the key level that we highlighted. We forecasted for price to drop down. It has dropped down, right? I think on the 1-day time frame, it has dropped down to the support level, right? We still expect it to continue to bounce, right? So pound yen, still a bounce above this key major support level, right? To see it rise towards the 172.1 112 level. All right, that is for our pound yen setup. Very nice. 23% retracement that is testing, right? So yeah, it probably keeping the same forecast for that. Pound franc. Wow. If I have to highlight pound franc, probably just the support levels over here. Nice little bit of descending resistance, pushing prices down. There is no setup that I can look at for pound franc, right? It's right in the middle. It's literally right in the middle of a support level and a descending resistance. It's right smack in the middle, right? If we are forced to, kind of look at pound franc, I would be playing the fluctuations, right? I like the bounces, right? I love the bounce from here, 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 here. So if anything, if prices come down, I'll look to play a bounce, but not too high a bounce. I won't play a bounce all the way up. I'll just play a smaller bounces above the major support levels that we see over here. Okay. All right. So the other forecast that we have, right? Gold, yes. What do we forecast on gold? Yeah, I think gold didn't really work itself out. We were forecasting that if it breaks the 2000 level, it should drop to 1958, right? It did not manage to break the 2000 level, so it did not manage to trigger the move down, right? So this level over here was level 2000 level that we're looking at last week. So what I like about what we did, our forecast last week, is that we are quite accurate in forecasting that this was the intermediate support level that needs to be broken to trigger the next move down to 1958, right? That level, right, was not broken. Okay, so it did not trigger the move down. This still remains the key support level, which I'm looking at. Gold. Well, one thing about gold is that there's this huge, massive, like extended bearish divergence, right? That is happening over here. Right, you see each time the reversals are happening, right? It's happening right there. There's an extended bearish divergence, which is signaling a potential reversal, right? Ichimoku cloud is not in your favor. If there is a reversal, I'm still looking for it. I'm still, this would be now my first support. I would kind of be looking for it to trigger a move down to second support, but it needs this level to be broken to trigger the move down. We're still waiting for this first support. It has not broken the level yet. All right. Resistance wise, this remains our key major resistance, right? First resistance to look at. Take note of the bearish divergence, right? Hopefully, we see a little bit more movement for gold this week, right? For it to push down to the second support, and for it to realize its bearish divergence potential. Okay, right, so that is what I'm looking out for gold. Dennis has requested for analysis on euro yen. So I think our analysis was it last week. We forecasted euro yen to drop nicely. I don't think I have euro yen listed here. Yeah, I think it was the week before. Nice little forecast on euro yen dropping, so we've hit our target there. For what we can look out for this week, for euro yen. For euro yen, testing a 38% retracement, right, on a pullback support. A nice little bit of additional support there too, right? So we could be seeing a bounce from this level. To take prices up. I do like that there's an overall kind of bullish momentum, right? There's overall little bit of a bullish momentum, where however you enjoy it, right? However you enjoy it, there's a nice little bit of bullish momentum that is keeping prices up, right? So if we were to see a bounce from here, right, we could play it, probably not to the top, but just to this level here. We could potentially see a bounce on euro yen towards this level. Okay, towards the 151.00 level, right? 38.50. If I were to put, yeah, this would be my. Sorry, just let me see if I missed anything. All right, yeah, probably this would be the area which I'm playing the bounce from. Okay, we get it right, or we don't get it right. If in terms of like risk management, I guess there's one other level down here is not that clear. It's not that clear, so I'm not gonna bother put it. All right. So yep. I hope you got that, Dennis. Right. So that's euro yen. We have had the analysis, Paul. We had the analysis for pound dollar, pound Aussie. I think we did look at pound. Oh no, we didn't look at pound Aussie too. So if we have to look at pound Aussie. Wow, not easy. Pound Aussie for me, yeah, it's failing to break the 23% retracement, as we can see, right? So 23% retracement is the first level that it needs to break to trigger the move down. All right, but I'm just seeing over here, I suspect there's some sort of a channel. There's some sort of a channel that we might be seeing. And price might be breaking past. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of breaking out of the level, but I can't tell for sure. It hasn't broken the 23% retracement yet. Well, I can't give a forecast on pound Aussie. It's a little bit hard. It looked like it was breaking down over here, but it didn't break down. So yeah, it's a little bit hard though. I would have thought that it would have broken down if it broke this level. Our KIV pound Aussie, right? There isn't a nice setup, but if I were to highlight the key levels, right, this would be the key overlap support that we're looking for. The key overlap support resistance levels, probably from here onwards, right? Probably from here onwards, worth looking at resistance levels, right? Yeah, probably from here onwards, you could look at resistance levels, support levels. I can't quite tell this level, but my gauge is that it needs to break the 23% retracement down here to trigger any further move down, right? So you got a nice little bit of an intermediate support here. Clearly, it failed to break this level. So watch for a break of this level if you want to trigger the bigger move down, right? It needs to break that level before you can trigger a move down to 38% and to the major first support, okay? Now let's go through and see if we missed out. Okay, Peter requests if look at crude oil in a bit. Let's just see crude oil, US 30, right? Question from Nick. Do you ever look at the US 10-year bond yield as a precursor to USD movement? Nick, I actually don't, right? I don't look at the US 10-year bond yield as a precursor to USD movements, right? I haven't done that, right, for the past like 8 forecasts, right? Pre-market weekly forecasts. We have still managed to forecast at least 7 or 6 out of those 8 weekly forecasts correctly, right? But I don't look at the right. I don't look at the US 10-year bond yield as a precursor, right? I rather look at correlation. I mean, I understand correlation. I understand you're drawing why you're highlighting that, right? But for me, I do look. My correlation is I try to compare it like the euro dollar, the dollar index across the euro dollar, across the dollar franc, across the pound dollar, across dollar yen, right? And can more or less kind of get a gauge from there, right? So yeah, still look at correlation. Just that I look at those instruments instead. Okay, now we request for oil. We were hoping that it will rise up further. It did not manage to rise up further last week, right? But what I like about it, right? What I like about this setup is that it is right now on resistance. Oh, where's my RSI? All the previous big bounces occurred, as you can see over here. Every time the RSI is touching this level, all right? Every time the RSI is touching this, this level over here, the 30.47, we are noticing that there is a nice little bounce. There's a nice little bounce that happens in price. Price has already bounced quite nicely above this level, right? And what we can expect for oil? Wow, it's right in the middle of nowhere. It's a little bit tricky. Bullish divergence for sure. Oh man. Oh man, my crude oil, man. I need to go down to the lower time frames to find anything. Okay, I need to go down to lower time frames to find anything. So I would need to swap over to this. This is my 4-hour chart. Oh, sorry. Click on this, click here, and look at my 4-hour chart instead. Let's see if you can see anything on the 4-hour chart, because on the 1-day time frame, a little bit messy, right? A little bit hard to find anything. I really don't like. Just wonder why the crude oil price feed is so weird here. Probably need to swap it around. I'm jumping around a couple of price feeds because you can see that, right? You can see that sometimes there's this big gap over here, right? So different brokers have that different kind of price feed, right? And you know, some brokers have that spike, you know, some brokers don't have the spike, right? So I'm going to operate without the spike first, okay? What could happen for the rest of this week, right? What could happen for rest of this week? This is a disclaimer first that this is a low confidence view that I have, right? I can't really forecast anything on gold recently, right? We did manage to forecast it 2 weeks ago, right? The bounce, right? But for this one, low probability kind of forecast. I'm just basing it off market structure over here, right? And it's continuing to inch lower, right? We could see price push down even further, right? But yeah, low probability kind of forecast, right? Paul, no, I don't have a channel, but you can follow us on the IC markets, analysis, right? So I got my team over there. If you go to icmarkets.com, is this how you go there? Yeah, go to icmarkets.com. Then you go to more, right? You go to the blog. So I do post the technical outlooks over here and the fundamental outlooks too, right? So you can go check it out. Every week we update it. On Monday, we do a weekly forecast similar to what I'm doing today on the D1 timeframes. Then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we look at more of the H4 timeframe. Me and my team kind of looks at it, right? So go check it out. Or rather, if you want to see the forecast that we're doing frequently, that is a place to check it out. All right. Let me see. There was probably a no. Oh, sorry. There's someone who requested. Sorry. Let me just pick it over here and go into 1-day time frame. Right. We were forecasting, right, for Dow Jones to reverse a little bit, right? It has dropped nicely, so I'm looking for the bounce, right? For Dow Jones, I'm looking for the bounce above this level, right? Probably back up to here, somewhere from here to here, right? But now that is inching downwards, right? The major support level I'm looking at is the first support at 32595, right? Keep a lookout for it, right? Keep a lookout for that level, right? It should be a nice little level to play a bounce from. For those who were looking at DEX, not much you can actually play off though. Could use the momentum. Well, it's a little bit choppy, man. DEX is a little bit choppy. Right, but you could use the momentum to take you up to this level. there's undoubtedly, a strong little bit of bullish momentum there, right? Some argue that you could be seeing something like something like a little bit of a little channel within a larger ascending cycle, right? Ascending trend. So we could see that little bit of a bounce, right? Price might just with the momentum itself, it might be able to take you up to this level. But for the week, highlight this as the key little intermediate resistance for us to watch out for price reverse from. In case price reverses from there, right? So this would be probably my first support level that I'm looking at, right? Remember, it's not trading recommendations, just my view on the markets. All right. Okay, so we got most of it. I think there was a this one's still the same. US 500. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for 4159 to be broken to trigger the move up, right? Thank you, Nick. Right. I'm glad you enjoyed today's session. Right. Not much of a change here. We're still waiting for this level to be broken for Nasdaq too. Right. Nasdaq, very strong bearish divergence versus price. So we need this level, right? We need this level to be broken to trigger the move down, right? If any, right? But in this case, now that it's broken this intermediate resistance, it might continue to inch up a bit, right? It might just inch up that little bit. No, actually, if it's a bearish divergence, it might not. This would be the support, right? This would be the support. Two very, very nice levels. If it breaks this, we could see a nice drop, right? If it breaks it, we could see a nice drop down to this level first. Okay, so that will be the key thing I'm looking out for. Very strong bearish divergence. We've got intermediate support, we've got ascending support, right? So if price were to break this level over here, right, we could see a trigger a move down on it. But I would wait for the 13217 level to be broken to trigger the move down. All right, guys. Right, so yeah, thank you for staying throughout today's session. Right, I think as similar to last week, towards the end of the session, right? Is it here? Yeah, towards the end of the session, if you want, right, please, or if you haven't, all right, feel free to head over to this Survey Monkey link, right? This Survey Monkey link. You can give us a review on how to rate today's webinar. Of course, it's 5. Not kidding. You can rate it whatever you want, right? What you like or dislike. Any suggestions to improve. Whether you allow your review to be used by the IC Markets team, right? And of course, this is the part where you can suggest things like, hey, I want him to cover a little bit more about this and that, right? Feel free to let me know, right? I think there's one instrument I wanted to highlight, right? Please keep a lookout for Bitcoin. It looks like it might be forming a little bit of a head and shoulders reversal, right? It might be forming a head and shoulders reversal over here. Okay, head and shoulders reversal, right? So keep a lookout on this, right? It might give us it might trigger the move down to here. This is what I'm thinking, right? Because if it holds below here, right, there's a good enough chance that this week we see prices drop down to a 25,200 level below the 2,700 level over here, right? So this is just one thing I wanted you guys to keep a lookout for. All right, very nice kind of setup over here, and we could really see a potential drop to 25,200. Okay. Now, that's it for me, guys. Thank you. If you want to leave any reviews, your first time here, yeah, feel free to drop it in the Survey Monkey link I sent you guys, right? It will really help me, right, know how I can better provide this weekly forecast for you guys. Next week might not be me unless I choose to. I somehow am able to, because I'll be flying to Melbourne, right? So my colleague, Keaton, will be taking over the session. Probably Keaton, taking over the session. All right. Thank you very much for staying throughout this entire session, everyone. Thank you, David. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Paul, Peter, Henry, Watson, Jay. right? Joey, thank you very much. Oh, from Adelaide, right? It's not too far, right? I mean, it's within Australia, I think. Right. So good stuff, man. Good stuff, guys. Thanks for tuning in throughout today's session. Thank you for staying through. Right. It was a pleasure to have you guys. Right. The survey, Nick, right? The survey is done, right? I'm not sure what you mean by the survey is done, right? The survey is an ongoing survey, right? That you can fill up, and we review it every single week on your feedback, right? Thank you, Yamil. Thank you, Peter. Right. Once again, thank you, David. Right. It was a pleasure having you guys over here with me. Right. Thank you for. Let's hope we are right. Every week. On at least the main forecast levels that we're looking at. Right. Monkey. Sorry, monkey. All right. Thank you, Nick. Yeah. It should be done. Right. It should be done. Once you submit it, I will be able to view it. All right. I'll go check it out, Nick. Thanks for sending that through. All right. Thank you, everyone. Right. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Damon. Right. Stay safe, trade safe. Peace out, guys. Right. Catch you guys in maybe whoever's in Melbourne. Maybe I'll catch you guys there. Right. Otherwise, see you. Take care. Bye bye.